some of these makeup trends can really make you look old, or at least make you look older than your actual age. काफी टाइम से I've been looking at these makeup trends that have been floating around, and इतने कोई ये new नहीं है. Much like fashion trends, makeup trends also keep getting recycled over a period of time, and I just realized that some of these will definitely not work for mature skin. They will not work for mature ladies. Also, some of them can actually make you look older या आपके flaws को और ज़्यादा highlight कर सकते हैं. So today I wanted to do a get ready with me where I do my daily makeup with you. I will show you the products I use, give you the reviews, talk about some affordable alternatives, etc., etc., as well as cover makeup trends and what you should avoid. Hello and welcome to Skincare Simplified. मेरा नाम है निपुन, आपकी skincare bestie, now a certified skincare consultant. आज की ये वीडियो है Get Ready with Me, makeup trends that make you look older, what is it that you should avoid. वीडियो शुरू करने से पहले वीडियो को लाइक कर दें, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दें. मैं क्रिएट करती हूँ स्किन केयर रिलेटेड कंटेंट हफ्ते में 3 बार, Sundays, Wednesdays and Fridays. Now let's jump into the video. The first thing I want to get into is pre-makeup skincare, yeah, skin prep for makeup, which, as many other things, people have just overcomplicated on the internet. What is pre-makeup skincare? Well, pre-makeup skincare or skin prep is literally nothing but your regular skincare routine that you will do before you apply makeup. Now, I understand काफी लोगों का skincare routine नहीं होता है. They don't really have an AM and a PM skincare routine. But if you're a subscriber of this channel, I'm pretty sure by now you have a dedicated skincare routine. What I like to do, I wear makeup every single day. Not every single day, but like at least 5 times a week when I'm going out to work. So every morning I wear a full face of makeup before I go to work. What is my skin prep? My skin prep is मेरा morning skincare routine, जहाँ हम face wash करने के बाद I will use whatever, like now I'm using peptide serums, bifida ferment. उसके बाद मेरा sunscreen, eye cream included, and that's it. I just wait for the product to be completely absorbed onto my face. Uske baad I start with my makeup. If you are someone who doesn't have a skincare routine, what I will recommend to you is definitely, if you have oily skin, use a light gel-based moisturizer. These are some of your options. If you have dry skin, again, use a hydrating, lightweight moisturizer before you do your before you start doing your skincare. One important thing that I want to mention here: if you use eye cream the way I do, आई क्रीम कैन बी अप्लाइड अंडर एंड ओवर. बट अगर आप बहुत कोई ड्रामेटिक हैवी आई मेकअप करने वाले हैं तो अपने लिड एरिया पे आई क्रीम को अवॉइड करें, बिकॉज जब यहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा हाइड्रेशन ऑयलीनेस हो जाती है तो नो मैटर कितना भी आप प्राइमर लगाएं, द आई शैडो विल फाइंड डिफिकल्टी इन स्टिकिंग ऑन. सो दैट इज द ओनली वन टिप दैट आई वांट टू गिव विच इज़ वेरी स्पेसिफिक फॉर आई क्रीम. अगर आप बहुत हैवी आई मेकअप करने वाले हैं, eyelid पे eye cream को avoid करें. I don't do a lot of heavy, smoky, that kind of an eye makeup, so I apply my eye cream under and over my eyes. So as of now, I have done my morning skincare routine. I have sunscreen on my face, and now we're going to get started and do the rest of my face. Let's talk about step number 1, which for me is an optional step, but I know is a big step for many people, and that is primer. Now, what does a primer really do? A primer basically, अगर आपके चेहरे पे texture है तो उसको थोड़ा बहुत smoothen out करता है. If you have open pores, things like that, it'll kind of fill that up. It'll just give you a smooth surface. On a day-to-day basis, like every morning, I don't really use primer because I don't have large open pores. I have a few pores like everyone does, but they're not large enough कि वो makeup के through दिखते हैं. So I don't really need a primer. Yes, but if I'm going to do a really heavy dramatic look, sometimes I will use a primer. But let me tell you about 2 primers that I really like. The 2 primers that I really enjoy, number 1 is this. This is the new Benefit Pore Freshener Hydrating Primer. This is a very hydrating primer, and इसका texture silicone नहीं है. This is like water based. It is very different from the original formula. So this is one, and the second one has been there forever. This is actually my most repurchased primer. It is this one by Tarte, and if you have ever followed OG beauty gurus on YouTube, you would have seen this with like Tati and like so many of them. So there is nothing that is available on the market that is more blurring than this. You literally need this much, like a tiny amount. Today I'm going to use a primer, and again, I don't take a primer and apply it like a moisturizer all over my face. I will only apply it where I do have a little bit of pores, so which is this area. So I will just about apply it here. And that's it. This, I mean, अगर मैं primer थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा use करती हूँ, I'll apply it here and maybe on my chin. So, but like that's all the primer I need. You always smooth over the primer and then you tap it. And this is really, really good, specifically if you have fine lines, if you have pores. These are my kind of two favorite. There's another one. If you have really oily skin, the one that I do recommend is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I had got it last year or early year before last to try it out. I used it for a while. It's great for summers. Then I gave it to my niece because I don't use it anymore. So yeah, so that's that. First step that I will, आज मैंने कर लिया है for the purpose of this video, but I usually skip it, is primer. उसके बाद I will go on to step number 2. Step number 2 for a lot of people is under eye concealer or color correcting. I don't do under eye color correcting or whatever because I don't need it. Concealer is a thing. It really depends on my mood and it depends on how much time I have. If I have a lot of time, I might use a dot of concealer. If I don't, I wouldn't. But what I usually do, even if I have to apply concealer, I will apply it first. And this product that I have been using since last year and loving it, it is the NYX Professional Bare With Me Concealer Serum. It is super lightweight. So I just took a drop and then I'll apply it under my eye, कुछ इस तरह से. And then I'll take the remaining product that's it, and I finish off the product. There's literally whatever, nothing left on my hand. Then I'm going to just let it sit, and I have my clean washed beauty blender, and then I will just dab it out. And I use a drop of concealer based on my needs. You can use more, less, whatever it is. Now, sometimes I do take the concealer on top of my eyes, but I've actually recently started doing something else, which I will show you. So I'm not taking it above my eye. I'm just keeping it here. And sometimes this is more than enough. इसके ऊपर थोड़ा सा press powder करके you're good to go. But today I'm doing a full face. So we're gonna do the full face. Now, let's get into foundation. I have a lot of things to say about. First, I'm going to talk about two foundations that I have loved using. I have almost finished it. I have not repurchased because I'm using something else right now. One of them is super affordable. This is the Kind and Free by Rimmel. This retails for like 30 dirhams. It's less than 600 rupees in India. It is very, very hydrating. It's buildable. इसको आप literally हाथ के साथ भी लगा सकते हो, and I've done it in one of my previous videos. So this is a really, really good product. अगर आपके चेहरे पे एक्ने मार्क्स हैं, अगर आपके चेहरे पे डिस्कलरेशन है, 100% you will need to use a color corrector, red, orange, whatever is the type of discoloration that you have to match that. But for someone like me who doesn't have too much of it, you can just go in with this directly, and I absolutely love this product. The other one that I want to talk about, which was my favorite from 2021, and I literally thought, not 2021, 2022, last year, and I actually thought कि इससे अच्छा मैं कुछ नहीं मिल सकता. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I used to actually mix this with the Flawless Filter and apply. And again, as you can see, there's just this much left. I have to squeeze my tube and use it, which I will. My shade is 4 Natural. इसे भी मैंने बहुत enjoy किया है. They're not dupes, but this is also a very good product, and this is a fantastic product. The one that I've been using and loving since November of last year, I purchased Haus Labs, which is Lady Gaga's brand. I picked up 2 shades. This was my Black Friday purchase. They actually ship directly to the United Arab Emirates. You can check if they ship to India. I picked up these 2 shades and I mixed the 2. So I am, yes, found it. So I am shade 110 light and 210 light. इनको मैं mix करती हूँ to get my ideal coverage. This has been my go-to foundation every single time I have applied foundation. This was also what I wore on my wedding. I made sure that my makeup artist used this and she loved it. So this is the foundation that I absolutely love. And price की बात करी जाए, if you compare it to other high-end brands like Charlotte Tilbury, Huda, whatever, this is kind of cheaper. So the way I like to go with this is 110. So I take literally this much. This is 110. And then I will take another drop. This is 210. I'll mix it. I just use my fingers, okay? Okay, spatula, nothing. I use my hand. And I dot it all over. This is like a luminous matte finish. Neck के लिए मैं थोड़ा और लूँगी बाद में. But whatever I have right now, I'm gonna take it down to my neck. Okay. It's a beauty blender. And हम blend करेंगे. Now, at this point, while I'm blending my makeup, I'm also going to talk about a trend which I feel does make people look older. And that is the dewy foundation look, you know. So since COVID, like ever since like skincare became a big thing and then people were doing light makeup, everyone's talking about dewy foundation, like how you should look like a glazed donut. And that, I personally love that look, okay? It's a great look, but it doesn't work on everyone, and it'll definitely not work if you have large open pores, because when you do something so dewy and glossy, your open pores will look even larger. So that is makeup trend number 1 that doesn't make a work for everyone, that will actually make you look older, because obviously if your pores are being accentuated, if your flaws are being accentuated, then kaise theek lagega, right? So we're just... And which is why I like this foundation, because this is kind of dewy, but ये mattify कर जाता है. It is not a super mattifying drying one like the Huda one. It's not like that, though I love the Huda one too. But it is just about the right type. When you do your makeup like this, when you've applied a little bit of concealer, when you've applied a little bit of foundation, and then you've taken it all over, is point pe, after blending everything out, you can analyze, do I need more? So if I need more on my neck, I'll take more. If I feel कि यहाँ पे थोड़े blemishes दिख रहे हैं या spots दिख रहे हैं, I can take a little more concealer. Always start with the tiniest amount of concealer. The problem with the internet is because the average age is so less, and you have these 22-year-old girls doing their makeup and they look beautiful, but because of their skin, the general elasticity of their skin, the way it is, I mean, money cannot buy youth again, right? So just because of the way their skin is, a lot of these things will look beautiful on them. It sometimes does look beautiful on camera, but real life mein bahut kharab lagta hai. So, and I love having a dewy finish, and I'm going to show you how I achieve it. So your dewy glassy skin look hai, what I like to do is focus on the dewiness or the glow on high points. So I like to focus on my cheeks, my forehead, and a little bit of my chin. And the rest of my face, I like to keep it absolutely matte, taki, you know, taki I don't look like one glazed donut. But this is pretty much the coverage I go for when I am doing my face. Another thing that I forgot to show you and do myself at the start of the video is usually when I start my makeup, I use a lip plumper on my lips. And this is nice because then by the time I'm done and actually lipstick लगाने का time आता है, my lips are nice and plumped. This is by Barry M Cosmetics. It is the triple XL minty lip whatever thing. So this is what is done. Now the other thing that is important that I want to talk to you about, baking. Okay, everybody is like putting like whatever and baking. Now you have to understand, अगर आप चाहते हो कि आपके creases नहीं दिखें, right? You need to set before you bake. But the order of application has to be that you need to finish off using all your cream-based products in one go. So, जब तक मैंने अपना under eye area set नहीं किया है, I will just keep dabbing my beauty blender like this to make sure कि creases नहीं आए. And then there is another product that I like to go with, and that is like a bit of a cream highlighter. And this is where I was talking about, you know, using the right amount of dewiness, because ये तो काफी mattify हो गया है. So this is the Huda Nymph, I don't know, creamy highlighter, whatever. And I'll take the tiniest bit here and I just take it onto my cheeks like this. That is all the glow I need. I don't need more glow than that. Anything more than that, I look like an idiot. And I like to take some of it यहाँ पे. Whatever comes onto my finger, that is all I will use. I'm not going to take it onto my nose because then my button nose will look very buttony. Next product before we go in, now I'm using all the cream based products before I go in with the powder products. So recently when I was in the US, I got this one. I bought some skincare from One Size Beauty. One of them is the One Size Blush Palette. So this One Size palette comes with one cream blush, and what I love is कि इसपे ऐसा एक cover है, so it protects it. And then there are these two powder blushes. I've been loving the cream blush. Oops, ये बहुत ज़्यादा ले लिया मैंने. You need the tiniest amount. And then I just take 2 fingers and I'll just blend it. The cream products, you have to finish off doing your cream before you get into the powders. Otherwise, वो सारा mix हो जाएगा and look weird. And then I've got this thing going here. And then I'll just take the Beauty Blender, which has some remaining foundation product. I'll just make it look less clown-like. And you can still see that I've got like the little bit of sheen happening from my Huda liquid, not liquid, cream highlighter. Plus I've got a cream blush going. This looks so beautiful, so natural. I absolutely love this look. अब हम जाते हैं directly on to setting the under eye area, and then we will do the tiniest amount of baking. Before I set my under eye area, let me show you something. This is a product that I use not only to set my under eye area, but sometimes when I'm in a rush and I don't want to use liquid foundation, this is what I use. I have hit pan on it, as you can see. This is such an affordable product. It literally costed me 20 dirhams, which is nothing, from Amazon. This is by the brand Essence. ये है इनका 16-hour cover and last powder foundation. My shade is vanilla, something like that. Anyways, that's not important. I bought another one. So on a regular day, अगर मेरे पास बिल्कुल time नहीं है, after my sunscreen, I directly just go with this and I apply this all over my face. I use a wet beauty blender. ये आता है with this kind of a sponge. I don't use it very much. It has a mirror as well. But what I'm doing today, and what I like to do when I'm wearing foundation, and I use this to actually set my under eye area. You have to set the under eye area before you bake. And you need very little product. This will mattify it. Also, now talking about that trend, pura glowy, donut looking, I don't want that. So what I like to do is, I've got glow happening here. I've got a little bit of glow happening here. Now for the rest of the face, I'm just going to take this. I'm going to mattify this area, especially यहाँ पे, because यहाँ पे pores भी होते हैं, right? I used a primer here, so I'm going to mattify this area. I'm going to mattify this area. And I'm going to mattify the center. By doing this, I have created a multi-dimensional, little bit of glow, matte all over, and this kind of works way better on mature skin, especially you have wrinkles, open pores, that kind of thing. You don't want to look like one gulab jamun type of a person. So this is what I do. Iske baad we get into the contouring part of it. Now I very rarely, unless I'm going out for a huge event, shadi, something like that, then I will potentially do a cream contour. Otherwise, I don't do a cream contour. I directly use a bronzer, and I use that to add color, dimension, whatever else. But we gotta bake before we do this. So under eye area set kiya hai, now we're gonna bake. So unlike 2016, itna sara powder leke agar aap bake karoge, if you have wrinkles, it's going to look really bad. Even if you don't have wrinkles, like I don't have wrinkles, but hum smile karte hain, we get expression lines, right? You're going to smile through the day, hopefully. You don't want all of that powder setting in. So you need to use very little baking powder. I'm using this particular one. This is from Haus Labs again. This is their translucent powder. I take it on a brush like this, and I will just set this area. and I'm going to let it stay there. It's a very finely milled powder, तो इतना ज़्यादा आपको on camera दिखेगा भी नहीं, but it's pretty much there. And I'm just going to let it sit there and bake while I do the rest of my face, and towards the end of it, I'll remove it. So if you really want absolutely flawless under eyes, then you need to, after you do your concealer foundation, you need to set and then bake. Directly concealer foundation के बाद if you'll bake वो crease हो जाएगा, because please understand your concealer, your foundation, it is of a liquid consistency. Liquid पे powder will make it crease, but जब आप liquid को powder से set कर देते हो उसके बाद baking करते हो, it gives you the most flawless finish ever. Now we're going to do the contour, and we're going to do the regular blush because this much blush is not enough for me. So for my contour, I'm using the Sun Bunny. This is by Too Faced. And I'm using an angular brush. With the product that's left, I actually go into my hairline. And when you're doing this, when you're trying to define a jawline, you need to take the product down. ऐसे लाइनें नहीं होनी चाहिए. It needs to be very, very soft and diffused. Now for the nose, the same brush that I actually used to set my powder, I'm just going to use that. This is actually, I believe, a Morphe brush, and this was for nose contouring. I just take the powder. यहाँ product लगाने के बाद I will just diffuse it down. And I don't take it all the way down here because this is where I'm trying to create a shape. That's it. And then I'm going to go in back with my powder foundation, and इस point पे ओहो ये तो खत्म हो गया. इस point पे हम दो चीजें करेंगे. Number one, हमने contour किया था, जो contour थोड़ा सा नीचे आ गया है, we'll just chisel it out by adding some more powder here. That's one. Number two, you can use a separate brush. मैं तो इसको ही beauty blender को ही ऐसे pinch कर लेती हूँ to make it tiny, and then I will just. By doing so, now you've created dimension. So you've got that line happening, which is contouring your nose. You've got all of this business happening. And by doing this, I've managed to get not only color, but some amount of definition onto my face. Now, this is totally optional. Just तरह से आप करते हैं, you can do it. This is particularly a technique that works for me. At this point, I am going to go in now with my powder blush. And I'm going back to the One Size Beauty palette. Now there are two shades here. This is like a more matte pink, and then there is this peachy shimmery one. And I love shimmer. And ये बहुत pigmented है guys, so इसको बहुत tap करना पड़ता है. And then I'm just gonna, oh shit. And if at any point you feel the blush is too much or whatever, don't worry, you can just fix it with a wet beauty blender, which already has your foundation towards the end of your routine. Like, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I do feel the blush is a bit much. Now we're going to do the fun part, which is the eyes, and this is such a simple, quick, easy step for me. Before we start with the eyeshadow, we have to do the brows. So let me show you what I'm going to be using. I'm using the Precisely My Brow pencil. I've been using this for years. I have not been able to actually find anything in the drugstore which is as good. So this is what I'm using. Then this is the Benefit, I don't know what they call it. It's the highbrow pencil. So this is something I like to use, and this is the setting gel. Now setting gel mein I'm very flexible. So I love the one from NYX. NYX has a brow glue. It also has a tinted brow glue, which I've used in the past. I love the soapy one that you get off Amazon. Brows soaps mein I'm very, very flexible. So we're going to start setting our brows. First, I'm just going to brush this whole thing out. Then I'm going to take it, and I kind of like to start in the middle, not in the middle, but not in the front either. And जहाँ जहाँ मुझे लगता है कि थोड़े से gaps हैं, that's where I go in first. And I'll define it. उसके बाद I'm going to go very lightly in the front because this is where I have a gap. And then I go back with the spoolie and I just kind of blend it out. I don't use too much of it. I use very little. I don't do heavy brows. I like to keep them very natural. And that's one reason I've never done micro needling, micro blading, not needling. I've also never done micro bleeding, micro needling. I've not done micro needling or micro blading because I like this natural part of my brows. And then I just like to go in with this particular brow gel. This does keep your brows in place all day, so it's really good. And I don't like the over feathered look either. Basically, किसी भी चीज को जब लोग over कर देते हैं, I don't like it. The only exception to the rule is skincare. Highlight the highbrow pencil. I'm going to use that a little later after I actually finish doing my eyes. Now my eyes are very simple. I literally have 2 or 3 palettes. One of my most favorite ones that I've actually repurchased, the only palette I have ever repurchased in my life is this. It is the Modern Renaissance by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I love it so much. And this is literally my, oh, it's the light reflecting. Okay, this is literally my go-to palette when it comes to everyday use. I'm gonna put like the shades right here and I'm gonna highlight it so that you know exactly what I'm doing. But basically it's very simple. I use like 2 to 3 colors. If you're above the age of 30, you know this product, the MAC Paint Pod. This was everywhere on YouTube with OG beauty gurus back in 2009, 10, 11, I guess. And then suddenly kind of went off. And I just repurchased it now. Not now, I actually repurchased it last year. I never really got to using it because what I used to do before is my concealer thoda sa hi eyes ke upar bhi laga leti thi. That used to form a base for me doing my my eyeshadow. But then I went back to using this and I realized why this was such a cult favorite. God, I don't really need concealer. I'll tell you what shade this is, I've forgotten. I literally take this with a brush and I just put it onto my eyelids. Discoloration gone. It is the perfect base. I don't know why we stopped using it. Like, I really feel that I need to go back to some of the makeup videos back from like 2010, 11 and really see what is it that people used to do, because we're doing some good stuff. And for all of those you don't know, I've mentioned this before on my channel. Back in 2010, 11, my channel was a makeup channel. I used to do makeup. And by the way I'm doing makeup right now, you can obviously guess that I was pretty bad at it. It was a stupid thing, and it lasted like 2 minutes. But then when I started doing skincare last year, I deleted all of those videos. Should have kept some actually for reaction or whatever, but I deleted all of those videos and this is where we are. So this is the step that I've brought back. I've brought back MAC Paint Pot into my life because I just feel this is so much better than using concealer. Concealer se jo bhi karo, jitna marzi you set it, it does kind of tend to crease after a while. So just using the Paint Pot is just so much better, and you know, your eyeshadows look better. Everything just looks better. Makeup trends that make you look older, and one of them hands down has to be this crazy smoky eye that is coming back, especially when it's black, gray, blue, because your dark circles are usually black, gray or blue when you have veins, and I feel that really ages you. But a little disclaimer, if you enjoy that kind of smoky eye and you can carry it off, more power to you, ladies. Please continue. This is just my opinion. I just feel a really heavy smoky eye makes you look so much older, especially, and I also feel it's a bit, can I say it? Maybe I should not say it. I'll say it. Actually, I'll just say it. I just feel it's not classy. You know, those, I mean, I've been there. I've been with the blues and the greens and, you know, doing that Jatak blue and, you know, the blue eyeliner and then a little bit of thing. It's just so crass. You know why am I quiet? Because there are 25,000 mean things that I can say to describe it. But social media is not the place to do it. I'm never going to do it. So yeah, for those of you who don't know me personally, which I'm sure a lot of you don't, I have such a mean streak. But a funny mean streak. You know what I mean? Like, it's mean, matlab jisko bola usko bahut bura lagega, but actually it's very funny. I don't know. Dark humor? Okay, anyways. Okay, back to makeup. So I have done my eyes and now we're going to go in with Raw Sienna. That's the shade I started out with, and I am just about going to do this. So my eyes are slightly hooded. They're not hooded completely, slightly hooded. And I like to just work here in the socket and take it thoda sa up. And the brush I'm using is literally the same brush that came with the palette. I'm not massively into exploring 20 different types of brushes. जो मिल जाता मैं use कर लेती हूँ because I just think that you have to figure out the technique. The tools can work with you, for you. Okay. Goes on both the eyes. Then I go in with this burnt orange shade. I'll usually do both my eyes simultaneously so that they look the same. Because imagine if I do this puri aankh and then this one looks weird, so it'll be weird, no? Then I'm going to go in with a little deeper shade, again with this flat stiff side. It is Antique Bronze. I'm also essentially doing a smoky eye. मुझे पता है अभी कोई ना कोई बोलेगा comments में, you also doing a smoky eye, does make you look older? No, this is a brown smoky eye, and wait till I finish off. It's gonna look very youthful. And this whole thing you can do with shades of pink, you can do this with shades of orange, you can do it with so many shades, it's not even funny. Now comes the fun part, talking about maintaining the glow wherever. So I feel that if you want to add a pop of glow, you need to focus on the lids. So I'm not bothering to change my brush. I am just going to take this and I'm going to go in with this shade. It's called Primavera. I'm just going to make it sit here. This look is pretty, then write it in the comments. पता चला मैं ऐसे so pretty कर रही हूँ. None of you guys think it's pretty, but I think it's pretty. Okay, I think it looks nice. You have just the right amount of dimension. I also feel when you do this, it makes your lids pop a bit, so it kind of works for my eyes, which are slightly hooded, because ये थोड़ा सा उसको outside popping impact देता है, and then I've got all of this situation happening here. इसके बाद I am going to now, obviously, if I feel like adding more color, I'll add more color, I'll do whatever, or I'll move to the lower lash line. And this is also super critical, because another thing that I felt really changed the way I look and changed my entire look was when I stopped using a lot of kajal in my inner eyes. That was my thing from the time I was in college to a long time, till the time I was about 30, 31, I guess. I used to like have kajal in my waterline, and I used to feel that used to make me in pictures just nah. And then I changed it to doing my eyes differently, and I felt my eyes look brighter, bigger, so much more beautiful. So I'm going to use the same color scheme, same palette, to do my lower lash line. So I have this brush here, this brush. This is actually, this came in the Urban Decay, one of the Urban Decay palettes. Palette I have tossed, it had expired. I have retained the brush, and I basically use this and I draw it out. Now at this point, if I feel, depending on how dramatic I'm feeling, I could add a little darker brown on the corners, do something like that. I'm not doing that because it's, you know, I'm going to wear this to work, so I'm going to keep it really simple. So this is what I've done, and iske baad I'm going to introduce you to one product that everybody thinks is a kajal, and all of you have been asking me about it. It is my shadow stick. I use the one from Chambord. I've been using this for years. This is the Chambord shadow stick. It comes in 3 colors, brown, black, and a silvery color. You can also get the exact same product in Kiko, in Makeup Forever, whatever else. I basically take this to my waterline, but I don't use it inside the waterline. I actually use it only on the lash line. And then I take the same product very close to my lash line, and then I just smudge it out. This gives me the tiniest bit of definition that I need. That's so easy. मैं product लगा के फैलाना है, like can't get easier than that. सारा कुछ हो गया, सारा कुछ नहीं हुआ, but now we're going to go in with this highbrow thing. So this has a matte side, this has a silver side. This comes in 2 shades. One is more whitey, one is more pinky white, one is more silvery white. I go in with the pinky white. I just take this under my brow, and then I just tap it with my fingers, and it blends out like a dream. We go in with mascaras, and I have so much to talk about mascaras. So I have used every high-end mascara that is there, possibly, that you can think of. And I can't even find a single mascara. Yeah, I've used all of them. Okay. And it's not like they're bad. They're all very good. But ever since I discovered the brand Essence, and I discovered how affordable it is and how it looks on my lashes, this is what I keep going back to. And ऐसे ही मन के लिए or whatever, just by looking at an ad or seeing an influencer talk about it, I will still go buy a really expensive mascara and then just use it once and give it away. Mascaras I don't even like to give away, because mascara is something that you can't really give away even if you're giving it to your relative. So the one I'm going in with is the Essence I Love Extreme Crazy Volume Mascara. And once I've got a layer of this, I go in with the Lash Princess, the waterproof one. Earlier I was just using the regular Lash Princess, and I noticed that by the end of the day, if you were out for about 12 hours, jo ho jate mere kabhi kabhi, then it just cracks and then you get raccoon eyes. But if you use the waterproof one as a second one, and I just got it here, फिर बहुत amazing हो जाता है. Did you notice I don't like open my mouth and make faces? I have like one very serious expression, almost like a psychopath. And then the waterproof one is the one that I use on my lower lash line. And you lift and roll, lift and roll, lift and roll. Today I didn't curl my lashes. Sometimes I do, and I think curling your lashes helps. I don't apply false mascara, false lashes. I don't know how to. Actually, now I can't say I don't know how to. I've figured out a way, but it's too much of a process, so I don't do it. But this is literally the eye look. The eye looks bright, open. You've got a little bit of color. You've got dimension. A heavy smoky eye will just kill you. Now let's do my lips and talk about the other trend, which I think doesn't work on anyone. Definitely not on us Indian people. The other trend that makes you look old or older is the nude lip. And I know the nude lip has been everywhere, but I feel it just doesn't work on Indian skin tone. It doesn't even work on someone like me who's like fair skinned, as most people would say, because it just makes me look dead, like someone slapped me and sucked the life out of me. That's how I look with a nude lip. So the solution around that, and the one nude lip that is super trendy right now, is the brown liner and the the nude lip inside, which people think is like a damn new thing. It's not. Every actress in the 90s, like early 90s or I don't know, late 90s movies where you have like Karishma Kapoor, Shilpa Shetty, just go see any of those old movies. You will see them doing the dark brown liner and the light brown nude lip. It looked atrocious then, looks atrocious now. My solution, if you want to wear a nude lip, is actually use a dark pink or a maroon lip liner, because that kind of helps bring in some color and some life. Having said that, there are two lipsticks that I've been absolutely loving. I've been using this since March. It is the Maybelline Lip Vinyl Liquid Lipstick. Now the promise of these lipsticks is that they have 16-hour coverage. मैंने personally इनको wear किया है for about 13 to 14 hours, maybe tops 15 hours, and they do stay. थोड़ा light हो जाता है obviously, but they're still there on your lips. It is super pigmented. It is beautiful. It's non-drying. It starts off as a glossy and then becomes like a glossy matte, if that's a thing. I have two shades, peachy and saucy. And usually everybody's been asking me under my YouTube videos, comments on Instagram, what lip shade. So since March, if you've seen me wearing a lip color, it's one of these two, and this is what I'm going to be using today. So beautiful. I absolutely love this. So yes, this is it. This was a get ready with me. Makeup trends that make you look old, what you should avoid, and of course, how can we forget? Before we finish off everything, you have to use a setting spray. Now, there are two options. This is the Catrice one. This is the oil controlling one. It's super affordable. And the one that I got, because this TikTok made me buy, this is the One Size Beauty On Until Dawn mattifying waterproof setting spray. Oh God, this is waterproof. This is, like stays on forever. This is amazing. But I don't use this ऐसे ही. I actually just use it now when I'm going out for a really long time or something like that, because One Size Beauty doesn't ship to Dubai. They're not in Sephora's yet. Cult Beauty is not shipping them. So there are lots of issues. So I don't know when I'll be able to get this next. So for today, I'm just going to use Catrice. And there is something that I do. So A lot of people say that thoda sa hi makeup spray lagana hota hai. I don't use thoda sa. I actually use a lot of it. So you need to keep it about 10 inches away. I soak my face in it. And then I use a fan. And I make sure that I dry it out completely. This is not that Patrick Ta fancy fan. This is like a 5 dirham thing I got off Amazon. But it does the job. And this process where you've got like a lot of setting spray and then you soak your face and then you let it dry, this gets everything to melt together and look extremely, extremely flawless. So this was my get ready with me, my makeup routine kind of a video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below. What is the other kind of stuff that you'd like to see? Also let me know in the comments below. Do like this video, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Till then, take great care of yourself. Bye.